We're back. Welcome to the Zero Shop. It's been a little while since I've been updating this channel regularly. I've pretty much been just posting random shorts here and there. It is August. The summer is nearly over. We've had an extremely busy year. We did Baker's Dozen. We've done many rallies. I haven't really been filming. It's a lot of work to make these videos, and I've just been focusing on other things, particularly with Baker's. So, some people asking about doing a tour of the shop again, since it's been a few years. So we're going to start back into this channel by seeing where the zeros are at. And here we are. This is our building. Our club owns it. I'll give you guys a tour of the whole thing. Welcome to the inside of the Zero Shop. As you might have noticed on the outside of the door, there is another business in here. While we do own this building, it came with a gentleman who runs a cylinder machining shop. So that's the little sign outside, Wilson's Cylinder Head. They've been in here in Toledo for over 30 years. He decks cylinder heads, does porting on 4-stroke. Very interesting guy. If you need any of that done, you know where to come. So anyways, here we are in the main room. I'll be turning you around in a moment, but we'll start simple. When you walk into the Zero Shop, you're going to see this is our bar space. It's currently littered with all sorts of our goings-on here. Some of my camera equipment, a blasted DR cylinder, candy, roller weights. I've been working on a Hobbit, so I've been tuning a little bit. Behind me, you'll see this is our prospect shelf. If you are prospecting for the zeros, you don't get a full shelf, which you'll see later. You get a section on the prospect shelf. You're also allowed to have 3 bikes at a time in this very large building that you'll be seeing some more of shortly. But that's where you start. That's where you enter the greater world that is our shop here. We currently have 1 prospect as of August 2024. Moving on. Welcome to the main room of the Zero Shop. In this space, you're going to see each member's shelf as well as their benches. There's a few more shelves tucked away in the back, but not too many. We are always an expanding club, so we need to find a little bit more room. And you'll see in this space that there are plenty of spaces for more members and more fun. So right now, you see every member has a shelf and their rolling bench, and sometimes you'll see a moped in front of these. Members are allowed to keep 1 bike out here, be it in front of their shelf or on their bench, and that's the bike that they're currently working on. So this is a space that's just kind of dual use. We invite people in here. We also work on bikes here, and we do a lot of storing here. You're also going to see a lot of memorabilia from some other clubs. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in this room. Right above me here, we have a pillowcase that was sent to me by the Green Bastards with some of their fun stuff on it. This Tomos that's hanging from the ceiling, you can only see about half of it, but this Tomos was from my wedding. Sarah and I are married, and instead of a guest book, we had everyone sign a Tomos frame. It was very Ohio, very mopedy. To my left here is a Tomos dealer sign that was given to us by Joe Kalunga. And I'll bring you a little further into the space to show you some of the other cool stuff on the walls. So, we're still in the same room, because I wanted to show you some more of the fun stuff on the walls. Obviously, we have a Zero that was made by Black Pipe Derek. You can find him at Light. He does custom neon work. Very, very cool stuff. We have a member's vest up here. This is Elmer. We lost Elmer in 2024. He was a wonderful person. We're really going to miss him. Hopefully you can come to some of our events this year and celebrate his life, because we're going to be doing that at our winter swap meet and, of course, the national rally that we'll be hosting in 2025. So that's Elmer's vest. He is retired. We miss him. And above me, on to happier things, is the old Fuck Sheep. We won the Fuck Sheep at CBBG a few years ago by our wonderful hosts, Chad and Patrick, and the whole Kalamazoo Moped Riders. So we're going to be moving right along. Welcome to the game room. This space is particularly utilized during events. Well, it's not being used for events. It's used for some member shelves. Some of our newer members have their space back here for their shelves, just like we have in the main room. But the real attraction of this room is that it is our game room. During events, all of these are on. This guy right here has a bootleg Nintendo. This is a Retro Pi built by Cody, and this has everything from 8-bit to 16-bit, all of it, a lot of fun. Aliens is the original Aliens, and it's very hard. You should come play it. And then just out of camera is another RetroPie that, you know, keeps things moving in here. It's a lot of fun. And then I think the most important part of this room, well, this is only its storage, if, you know, you want to be sanitary, is our beloved hot dog griller. This baby can handle up to 32 hot dogs at once. Maybe more if you buy cheap small hot dogs. But if you've ever been to one of our events, this is how we feed everybody. So we're going to keep moving. For the next leg of our adventure, I'm going to stay behind the camera because there's not a ton of space and there's not too much to see here. So we have a bike storage room. There's really nothing else going on in here. We do keep all of our screen printing supplies in that closet. If you're wearing a Zero shirt, it's been made with junk out of there. And now we get to go into the scary murder hall, though we should probably back it up. There's something very important here. This is a door that we glued a poster to, and we didn't want to give up the poster when we left. So we might have taken that door from one of our old shops, but no one needs to know about that. Anyways, we're going to continue on here. We call this the old murder closet. I'll let you surmise why. Now we get into something kind of cool. This is a new space in the shop. I'm just going to step past you here. Turn the light on. So we added a real oven in the shop, so we're able to cook all of our guests' food as well as ourselves. We have the refrigerator that's always full of beer and food for any guests we may have here, as well as all the important things like air fryers and microwaves that keep a modern shop in business. The liquor cabinet, which always has icy lights hidden by our friends at Mopit. You never know where you're going to find these. As well as the shop mascot. Stay safe, baby. Moving along, we have our main workspace. On a shop Sunday or shop Wednesday, when we got 10, 15, 20 people here wrenching, space is at a premium no matter how big your shop is. So this is a space where we like to store our extra chairs. We have a pool table, it's covered up right now. And this is just a big empty space where we like to work on bikes. There's some more bikes behind me, of course, and our little entertainment center next to me. We have got the classic TV here for screening the finest VHSs and our speakers and sound system for when we're having some parties and some fun. And we have a semi-modern TV. I don't know, it's probably like 15 years old, but hey, we have a flat screen so Megan can watch sports, which is very important to her during the right seasons. This little part of the shop is our sandblasting setup. Now, as we do share this space with our renter over here, he does a lot of aluminum work, so we don't use the toughest material in here. We use a glass sand product. It's really nice. It takes a little bit more time, but it's not going to scar any aluminum. So you just pop this guy open, toss whatever you're working on there. We've done Motorbicanes in here. We've done Kreidlers. We've done Pooks. Lots of different frames and lots of different parts. Sandblasted in here. This is the reclaiming unit. This is what keeps our shop so clean. This is full of, what you would almost say, industrial socks. All of the elements that are used in here are recycled through this big guy. It takes all the junk out and lets you keep using the nice clean material. It's really cool, and you'll notice that there's not dust everywhere because of this little guy. If you have watched any of our live streams, you'll recognize this space behind me. This is our public tool area, as well as our engine rebuild area. There's a bunch of holes cut into this bench so you can slide different motors in and rebuild them at whatever stage you may need. Just behind me, there's a nice bearing press. So this is a good area to go from tinkering with something to pressing some bearings on your crank. Again, all of these tools are public. Some people have their own little tools over there, but for the most part, all of our tools in the shop are completely public. You find different goodies down here, power tools, oil storage, whatever, public tool area. All right, I'm going to stay out of frame for this one too. This is what we call our dirty room. We do any cutting you have to do back here, as well as porting. There's air tools back here. There's Dremels, there's manual files. This way we don't spread all that throughout the rest of the shop. And we put some carpet up and whatnot to try and catch all the particulates. Now this is a really fun room. There's an oven in here, and you'll notice that there was an oven earlier. The difference between these two ovens is if you cook anything in this one, it will kill you. We use this oven for powder coating really small parts. You'll see our full-size powder coating oven later. This is also our welding room, as you can see. We have a welder that would make Jake Kane jealous, though he can probably use it better than us. We also have a cheap, shitty stick welder in here and a vent so that you can turn this on when you're welding. Get all those nasty fumes out so you don't die. Want to feel old? Welcome to Blockbuster. Hence the sign. This is our VHS collection. These have been donated by all of our different friends here in the moped scene, as well as neighbors, and some of them have been tracked down for those extra special movies. So if you're ever here, feel free to get your old membership card out, rent a movie, and enjoy yourself on our classic television. All right, I am going behind the camera again to give you guys a cool little walkthrough of our back area. Here we have some bike storage. This is mostly utilized for daily runners. A bunch of these went out on the slow ice cream ride the other day. We got some stockers over there, like a stock of E2, a stockish piece of shit, general thing, a Saks, and hey, there's the Hobbit I'm working on. But just a little storage area back here. We do have a heater back here during the winter. And then you step into this area, and there's a little bit more to see here. It's a little crowded at the moment, because, you know, sometimes we organize, sometimes we don't. But on the ceiling, we've got an engine lift. That can roll down and lift mostly mopeds these days. So we just got some bike storage back here. Show it off a little bit. Over here we have the oddballs out. This is our vintage motorcycle area. We got a couple project bikes up front, and then that whole row in the back. There's a Derby GPR, but the rest of it back there is mostly small Honda stuff. We have our bay door area that an XR150 is in the way of right now. But we use this area when you need to pull cars in so we can work on cars in the nice warm areas. Over here we have mostly my collection of French bikes. These are pretty much all Peugeots, as well as a mystery flat reed, but you don't get to see that right now. More French bikes. A little bit more bike storage. We're going to move on to the next area. Welcome to the parts room. Arguably the least exciting part of the shop, but one of the most important. You never know what you're going to find back here. You're not going to find cool performance stuff, but when you break your Tomos cases, there's Tomos cases. You need an NOI motor, there's one sitting on the shelf. Actually, there's 3. Tons of stock cylinders if you want to learn how to port. Our prospect is a young college kid. We've given him boxes of mopeds before, and he's made plenty of them run from parts that are sitting back here. There's extra tanks back here, extra seats back here, extra mirrors, taillights, headlights, random ignitions. Enough stock pipes to make Chad Burke blush, as well as a lot of NOS parts. There's been a lot of moped shops in the Midwest that have gone out of business, and a lot of those parts have wound up here. There's boxes and boxes and boxes full of really interesting stuff. And then there's also a fuckload of Tomos behind me, but no one gives a shit about that. As well as in the ceiling, one of our members bought out a motorcycle shop, and we have thousands of cables hanging up here. From short brake cables to long clutch cables, it's all hanging from the ceiling. It's actually really, really handy. As well as different storage. But that's the parts room. If you are a member, you can come back here and grab anything you need. Very handy. Welcome to, by far, the creepiest space in the Zero shop. The basement. You notice I'm ducking, and I want everyone to take note of that. If you ever come here, duck, 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 duck. This is what's known as a Michigan basement. The ceilings are about maybe 5'6". I'm only 5'5", and I have to duck in most spots, because even the ceiling might be 5'6", I can stand up right here. If I walk, I'm going to run into one of these poles or something else. I'm going to turn the camera around here for you. Welcome to our sea of mopeds. Here at the Zeros, we believe no moped should have to be in a cold garage, so we bring them down to our nice climate-controlled basement. This area is about 6 dehumidifiers running. It's usually a lot drier than my own basement, and there's about 100 mopeds down here. I would say about 90% of these run. There's a couple projects in the back. We keep some bikes that we like to give away in the back corner. We get a new person in town, we bring them down here. It's good shock, and then we got a couple bikes that we'll say, hey, pick one, get it running. Otherwise, just bike storage. Now this space might come as a surprise to some people, but it's more bike storage. Also, it's pretty unorganized down here. Yeah, there's just more mopeds. Though this space does have something cool. To my left is our 3-phase that comes in, and we have our big compressor down here. We use this compressor to run the sandblasting upstairs. That way you don't have to listen to it. But otherwise, it's just more mopeds. So that's it. You've made it to the end of the Zero shop. There's a couple more things, but you got to come see those. There might be a half pipe in there. This might be our new club trailer. If you break down next year, you might see a revamped version of this running chase. Or this parking lot full of shenanigans. You never know. Sometimes there's taco trucks here. Sometimes there's 15 cars. Sometimes it's just me and a broken moped. But that's the Zero shop. Thanks for sticking around. And like I said in the beginning, look forward to more content coming on this channel. I intend to start putting some effort into it this winter. So thank you. If you have any questions about the space or our club, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find pretty much all of our posts on Facebook or Instagram under the hashtag TollZeros. That's the hashtag or pound mark if you're old like me. TOLZEROS. TollZeros. Thanks again for sticking around.